Welcome back to Firefighters Financial Toolbox. Is there a recession coming? We keep hearing about it, but yet today we hit an all-time high in the S&P 500. But here's an article I found on CNBC.com. Is there a recession coming? Keep an eye on these key indicators. Storyline is by Janet Alvarez from Janet on the Money. Predicting economic downturn. If I could devise a model that accurately predict the onset of every recession or economic crisis, I'd probably be worth more than Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and Jeff Bezos combined. But the truth is, nobody can accurately forecast when a recession will hit. There are some leading indicators economists look at when trying to predict the activity of the coming months. While you may have heard that the yield curve recently inverted, there are other indicators that are equally or even more important. If you're interested in tracking where the economy could be headed, keep your eye on these numbers. Please keep in mind that no single indicator can give you a complete picture of the economy's health. Employment figures provided by the Bureau of Labor Statistics provide a close to real-time snapshot of the economy. A decline in the payrolls or the hours worked, especially for more than 1 month or two in a row, can signal a slowdown in employment. An increase in unemployment claims is also troubling for similar reasons. Keep in mind that there may be fluctuations isolated to some sectors of the economy, and that these do not reflect as strongly in the overall picture. The unemployment rate currently stands at 3.7, near historical lows, is indicative of a robust employment market. Housing prices, construction rates, and supply are another set of indicators to watch. Generally speaking, when times are good, housing demand is high, and prices are also high. When demand begins to contract, fewer new homes get built, and existing homes get sold. Both of these can indicate a slowdown is forthcoming. However, existing home prices and sales have continued to increase in the recent months. The Consumer Confidence Index, which details consumer attitudes and buying intentions, is also important to monitor. By some measure, the consumer makes up about 70% of the American economy. Whether consumers feel confident about spending or not tells us a great deal about where our fortunes are headed. At the present, this index continues to demonstrate persistently positive consumer attitudes regarding the economy. You can also take a look at manufacturing numbers and business sentiment. The Institute of Supply Management's famous ISM gauge, I don't know what that is a measure of the overall health of the manufacturing industry via its PMI index. It shouldn't read below 50, as anything under that represents contractionary environment, meaning the economy is slowing. Like consumer confidence, when business sentiment is low, it can also foretell a slowdown to come. The most recent PMI figures came in at 49.1, signaling a somewhat contractionary business sentiment and environment. Gross domestic product, or as better known as GDP, is the best measure of an overall economy's health. Technically, we enter a recession when we have 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. We've talked about this before. First and second quarters of 2019 featured 3.1% and 2% GDP growth, respectively, both indicative of a continued moderate expansion. Thus, a decline in the growth rate, while concerning, isn't actually indicative of a recession. Still, slowing GDP numbers could mean we slip into a negative growth situation and eventuate a recession. So the GDP is still the gold standard by which recessions are truly measured. Finally, the Conference Board's leading economic index provides a more comprehensive view of the economy via a composite score derived from a variety of economic indices. It's a handy gauge of where most major indicators are pointing. The most recent readings signal an expectation for moderate growth in the second half of 2019. While no single gauge can provide a complete impression of the economic outlook, the LEI is often used shorthand for economic expectations. So, are we going to have a recession? That kind of didn't give us an answer. Technically, we've had some slowing, but the economy is up, unemployment is down, job growth is still up, although some of the jobs not paying as much, although they are entry-level jobs. So there is job growth, and we do have some moderate growth to the GDP for the last 2 quarters. I don't know, you guys. What do you think? Are we headed for a recession? If you think so, let me know in the comments. If you got anything out of this and you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Leave the comments. They help me out. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing, and we'll make another video here in a couple of days. All right, we'll see you. Bye.